So in this next video, I'm going to go over how to make these parts, and which is this right here. And also how to make this heart, right? Which is this one right here. Well, at least for this part. This one's a little bit more rounder at the tip, but it's still pretty close. And you know, this one has little details here. Looks like a chain or something, I don't know. But at least for the most part, to make this. And I think this stuff here is kind of tacky, just adds more noise to the shape. So I think I'm just gonna, like I said, build this out. And this little portion here looks like it's another kind of bevels out. This one over here goes like that, I think, maybe. So it goes maybe straight like that, and then it bulges out afterwards over here, kind of plateaus like that, something like that. So let's just see what we can make. So this one again, right? Yeah. So after I make the text, I'm gonna shrink it down and fit it. And I first kind of set it up and prep it. When I say set up and prepping, I mean that I had it set up so there's a defined midline, and I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna delete this other half, so it's gonna rest flush. Because this one here, it kind of bevels in. I don't want to deal with that. I just want it flat, completely flat. Alright, so that's what I'm gonna do. So in order to be able to do that, I need to first go... Sorry about that. That's stupid YouTube auto-playing video. So yeah, let me just X that out. Anyway, so basically I need to download a font called Birds of Paradise. It's literally, I'm pretty sure, the same font that was used by this company. And I got the font from a website called dafont.com, DAFONT.com. It's under the scripts type of a style, and it's called Birds of Paradise. I downloaded it, it's free, it's right here in script, calligraphy, and then I click on the download. And regarding that, so in here, for example, under the downloads, it's right here, Birds of Paradise. Double click it, and it'll say this. So what I do is I basically copy it and I paste it into the desktop right here. And then from there, you go into the settings, and under time and language, nope, it's under personalization. Of all places, it's under personalization, and it's under font. So again, settings, personalization, font. Click on the font, and from here, what I do is my desktop, right, the Explorer folder, whatever you call it, I grab it from here and I just yank it and I just drop it into here. That's all I do, which I already did. and yeah, it's somewhere here. All this other stuff. So that's how you install the font, or you could just go double click it and you do install, which is probably easier. Should have done that instead. So that's how you install the font. We need that font, and one rule is that the font has to be installed first, and then you open Maya. So if you have Maya open and then you go ahead and install it, you're not gonna find the font. I repeat, you are not gonna find the font. You're gonna have to close Maya and then install it, you know, or basically install it and then just close Maya and then open Maya all over again. That's basically it. So make sure to do that. And then from there, as for the heart, I got it from Adobe stock, and it's a vector file. But you could find a heart shape anywhere on the internet. A lot of websites you could get it for free, where you can download a Illustrator file that has a shape of a heart. Multiple places, not just Adobe stock, that's available. And from there, so here's the heart, right? But before I do that, basically you have to copy it, Control C, from Adobe Illustrator or wherever, right? So let's just hold that thought for a bit. Now, here I am, right where I left off the previous video, right? So first, let's bring in the font, right? I mean, write out the text. In order to do that, we're gonna go create type, right? So create type. So, whoa, what the hell is this? There should be a P over here. Whatever. So, again, that was create type. I'll build this, and you'll see it over here, type mesh 1. And then from there, usually you'll have the attribute editor, right? If not, you go from the channel box to the attribute editor, and then from there you go to type 1, this little tab right there, and then from there you in here you type in birds of paradise, which it already shows right there, and hit enter. I don't know what that is. And then from there in here, inside of here, you type out the words two faced. There you go. And that's how I got that. And that's pretty much how you get the text going on. There's a couple of little nuances regarding that text. So one of the first things you want to do is so under type 1, attribute editor, right? Because we're gonna dig into the attributes of this thing, right? So in here, type 1, geometry tab, right here. So we're right here right now. Then there's your generator tab, geometry tab, and within the geometry tab, you want to look set your collinear angle, set it to 1, and you also want to turn this on, filter collinear points, right? So what that does is, if I go and turn it off, you see all these extra lines. I don't know what the hell this is, but if you turn it on, it takes away redundant lines we don't need, because you don't want to have more lines that's needed. It makes problems down the line. And I set the collinear angle to 1, So you see this? And I fiddled with it. It's basically 1 is the best choice in my opinion. And a filter by distance, that also needs to be turned on. Alright, looks like nothing happens, but there's a use for it. And the distance, right, I'm going to type in 0.31. Right there, see? I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to undo it. Now I'm going to redo it, Control Y. So it kind of touched it up. 0.2, 0.31. Anyway, so basically have that check, collinear angle to 1, distance to 0.31. This is basically called optimizing the geometry, so you don't have more than it's needed. And then from there, we're gonna scroll down a bit to deformable text, and we're gonna set that. We're gonna check that on. So it does this crazy looking nonsense. This is what they call triangulating your mesh. Triangulating your mesh so that it's not open-ended. Like this is open-ended, and that makes it closed. It has to do with modeling terminology, but anyway. So we're gonna set the 20, all default stuff. Just have that checked on, and then from there, what we're gonna do is we're gonna set the extrude distance to 0.6, so it makes it skinnier, because that was way too long. And extrude offset, this part is kind of neat, so I'm gonna just turn it at an angle. Extrude offset set to 0.05. Oh, usually it does something. And then, but then the extrude divisions, that should change it up. There you go. And then from there, alright, so I just paused the video for a short bit, and so just to recap, I have an extrude distance set to 0.6. I turned my extrude offset down to 0 for a reason why, and then extrude divisions set to 6, and then bevel distance 0.350, bevel offset 2.50, bevel divisions at 6. This is the bevel profile, right? It looks very similar to the extrusion, so you can get easily confused between the two, right? Because they're literally the same words, but this is your extrusion versus bevel profile. So long as these are good for your bevel profile and for your extrusion, right? And then the other thing I want to do is click on this, or was it this one? Was it? Right. I'll click on this one. And then my bevel, my extrude offset, type in 0.05. Okay, so alright, yeah, there you go. So that's better. That way it peaks out over here and slopes in. Yeah, there you go. It has a nice like that. So, and you could even see the shading going on there. Yeah, that's very nice. Okay, so that's what that is. Again, quick refresher. Curve, this is default distance 0.310. Check these boxes on, and then check on deformable type, because it'll triangulate it. These are pretty much all defaults, settings, enable extrusion. I have extrude distance set to 0.6, extrude offset set it to 0.05, extrude division set it to 6, and the other thing I clicked on was this, the profiles, meaning the side profile and how the extrusion looks like. See, like that. So make sure to click on that. And then this is usually default. Just make sure it's set to outer bevel. Do not check on enable bevel. Do not. Your bevel profile, right? This is bevel profile, which is different from extrusion. They look the same, but they're not. Long as these look like this, I'm not too sure if this is forgot if this was default or not, but as long as it looks like this for your bevel profile, you're good to go. And that's that for that part. That was 16 minutes. I'm just gonna leave it like that for now, or maybe I should also do the heart. Yeah, maybe I can do it in 4 minutes, round it off to a 20-minute video. So yeah, I'm gonna just save over it. And then for the heart, like I said, I crack open Illustrator, I grab it, I'm gonna do Control C as in cow, C, right, Control C, copy, and then I'm gonna go create, right, it's create SVG, boom, create SVG, right? So I'll make this weird looking thing. Let me hide my lip gloss stuff. Press H, select it and press H, make it go away. And then so this one, the SVG, right, the one I just made, I want to go into SVG1, right? I'm in my attribute editor, SVG1, with it selected, right? And here I'm gonna just hit paste because I had copied it here, and then now if I just click on paste, please work. God damn it. I'm gonna do Control V. God, mother. Edit, undo. What the hell? All right, 1 second. All right, so the reason why it didn't work was that I have to go back in, Control C, and then immediately go back in here, and then with the SVG, right, in the outliner, make sure in the attribute editor, paste. Yeah, so I guess it just wants to be copy and paste it right away, and it'll do it. Literally just click that and it'll paste in that that information for the heart. And from there, what we're gonna do is so SVG1, and then it looks very similar to the text, but they're different. Similar but different. So right now I'm here, SVG. I want to click on the geometry tab, right? So this again for the heart, and then I want to set my mesh setting for the geometry tab. Zoom in a bit so you can take a look. It's very chunky, blocky. So this mesh settings, if I type in 16, look what happens. The resolution gets better. And then all this other stuff is default. Leave it alone. Leave these boxes alone. And then after that, I want to go into deformable mesh. Click that open. Click on deformable mesh, the little box. I'm gonna turn my max edge divisions to 1, right, and I'm gonna turn my max edge length to 15, which right now doesn't do anything. I'm gonna set my refine threshold, I'm gonna set to 0.198, and then I'm gonna set my reduce threshold to 100. It's basically you're cooking up an algorithm to for the triangulation, so it's not too much, not too less. So I went ahead of time and tinkered around with it, and then from there, that's under deformable mesh for all these triangles. From there, I want to turn on enable bevel. So here's that part, enable bevel, right? And by default we have it set to outer, so it's going to outer. I want to set it to inner, right? So it doesn't bulge out, but it bevels inward, maintaining the original size and shape, right? Inner bevel, enable bevel, inner bevel, and then after that I'm going to go under my bevel profile, right? Remember, bevel profile is different from extrusion. They may look similar, but they're very different. So bevel profile, bevel distance. Basically, bevel distance means the amount of distance the bevel is going to travel. So right now, set to 0.35. I'm going to set it to 0.5. So it does that, right? More fluffy. And I'm going to set the bevel offset to 0.5 as well. So it slopes in more, right? So that's your bevel distance, 0.5, bevel offset, 0.5, bevel divisions, it's at 6, which is fine, right? So far, we have that. And then, there's one last thing to do. So right now it's 22 minutes, I'm gonna try to cut it short. Just to show something here, where I'm gonna select it, and you do not have to do this, but to show, I'm gonna select it under settings, default material, use default material, so out of that gray, make the black color, and now you notice the shading on it is weird, right? See all this? That is because of the triangulation, right? It makes it kind of, the faceted triangles makes that effect, which is ugly. So I just kind of want to share about that. So what I want to do is this thing called delete caps. So I'm going to wipe out the cap. And then from there, I'm going to select it again, and I'm going to do shift right click, right? Shift right click, fill holes. Remember, I'm in object mode, which is green. Fill hole. So again, shift right click, fill hole, boom. So cleaned it out. But now I don't need this hole over here. I'm gonna right click, go to face mode. I'm gonna carefully just click it, one time. Make sure the other side is not selected. I'm gonna delete it, and boom. And then as for this, right, I'm gonna just leave it like that for now. I don't like this crisp line here, but if I press 3, right, I press 3, so it does this, but we're gonna touch that up, and it's gonna look nice. So that's 24 minutes. I'm gonna cut it short, and so far we have that. Finally, for this, all this information, I don't trust it. Ooh, what the fuck is this? I'm gonna just delete history. Edit, delete by type, history. Wipe it out. Super important. Right? And then these guys I need to wipe out after as well. I'll do that a little bit later. So that's pretty much everything. And I'm gonna leave it like that for the next video. Okay, bye.